I don't see any reason why anybody would want to be a Christian. Christianity does not reflect our true identity, does not really speak to our spirit the way it should. That's why you see people running up and down, going to church, pray, do fasting when they should be doing all that. In fact, you are limited.
You think I'm limited?
Yeah,
okay.
I think you are limited. I think you are limited if you continue to be a Christian.
You think I'm limited? Okay.
Yes. People who have understand the business of Christianity, understand their true identity, that make good use of Christianity as a vehicle for making wealth.
Well,
those are the pastors. I know a lot of pastors that go to native doctor. Before the transatlantic slave trade, the world were balanced. The whole world were almost at the same level in terms of development.
So beating children was not an African?
Was not our style. Check the history book. Corporal punishment is not the African way. It was brought in a bid to control people. We practice the purest form of human-related worship.
I would never in my life had imagined that I was sitting down with a traditional worshiper.
The same way Saul in the Bible went and consulted and said, I'm having this issue. You read the Bible, right?
Yes.
Yes. He went to consult and say, I'm having this issue. The native doctor invoked Samuel's spirit to speak with Saul. Is it not? Ask yourself, this religion I'm practicing now, called Christianity, is it working for me? Is it giving me the results which I desire? Because the person telling you, put all hope in God, is not putting all hope in God.
Hello and welcome to 91 Podcast. Today's episode is a powerful and deeply rooted conversation as I'm joined by Mr. Osawaru Enoruyi. Together, we explore the rich cultural heritage of the Edo people, diving into questions about identity, tradition, and the role religion has played in shaping both past and present realities. In a time where globalization and modern belief systems continue to influence indigenous cultures, this conversation asks an important question. What does it truly mean to preserve identity while navigating change? From ancestral traditions to contemporary religious practices, Mr. Enoruyi offers insight into the depth and complexity and resilience of Edo culture, challenging us to rethink how history, spirituality, and identity intersect. Before we get into it, a special shout out to Rode for powering and supporting this podcast, from microphones and mic stands to XLR cables and Rodecaster Pro 2, pop filters, HDMI cables, and the Rodecaster Video S and core mixers. Your support helps us bring these important conversations to life with clarity and excellence. So sit back, tune in, and join us for a thought-provoking conversation with Mr. Osawaru Enoruyi. Welcome, Mr. Osawaru. It's nice to see you for the second time.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
The last time you were telling us all about Nigerian healthcare.
Yeah.
There was a lot of response to what you said online. Some people agreed with you. Some people said you were maybe exaggerating. What do you have to say about that?
I think they see it as exaggeration because they've not really experienced the Nigerian healthcare in Subway. Because most people never fall sick. They never try to experience what people experience when they go to the healthcare environment. But I'm not perturbed by what they say, though. The best way to find out is to actually visit and see for yourself. Then you will understand that a lot of us who work and who access those institutions are in their need for a change.
And you spent a lot of time working in that area. So obviously your experience is firsthand. You said you worked in A&E, so you saw these things with your own eyes.
Yeah, it's firsthand.
Well, like you said, not everybody has had that firsthand experience. No, so that's why they might not know.
A lot of people. Some facilities will be waiting for patients to come in So, and people are sick on the street, they don't go to the hospital. So,
They cannot afford it, really.
that's why we keep hammering on free healthcare. At least Nigerians, they suffered enough not to have free healthcare.
Well, today we're not focusing on healthcare. We're talking about the Benin Empire. So, I know my question might sound a bit silly, but what's the difference between Benin and Edo?
Okay, that's a good question to start with. Edo is the people. The name we are called is Edo.
Yes.
Although it has metamorphosed over the years from Igodo to Ubini, then we finally agree that we should be called Edo. We are not Benin people. We are Edo people. Our language is Edo. However, Benin is the capital of the Edo people.
Okay.
That means the Oba is in Benin. That's why we call it Oba of Benin. Then, at the time, there were a city. There were Ija. You call it Moat. Then it become Benin City. So the capital is Benin. The people is called Edo
people.
And our language is Edo.
So the culture is Edo culture?
Yes.
Okay, it's not Benin culture.
No.
So for those who might not be familiar, how would you describe the history and origins of the Benin Kingdom?
The Benin Kingdom is as old as the earth, I can say, because if we look at it, where we migrate from, nobody seems to care because everybody came from somewhere somehow. But at the time, we are all living in that particular part of the world. Then, at the time, someone who came from somewhere, but because he has a vision, is able to galvanize people, is able to see through what people are doing, able to see the future. Then we make him the Ogiso. So people will say the meaning of Ogiso is a man who comes from the sky. We all have that belief that people come from the sky. But when you understand how the history is constructed, you see that, okay, it must have come from somewhere to the people. That is why there is a distinct or a distinction between the Obaship, which is the rulership, and the people. The people were living, but the king came from somewhere.
From the sky.
They said from the sky.
What's that word you used to describe him before? You said Osa.
I won't believe in my own understanding that a man could have come from the sky, though. Maybe it was a tale because they can't really point where he came from. But it's inconsequential when you look at a man who have brought identity, who have brought so much power, who have brought direction to the people who were obviously just living.
But this man was not one of you. He wasn't part of you. Did he speak your language? Did he?
In the language sense, we can say he's Edo as well, because we can't really differentiate languages for now. We can't really say, okay, where did it come from? Were there Edo language there? Because language in itself evolve, because there are a lot of Edoid people who are Edo but do not speak Edo language. Okay. But they are Edo. So in essence, we can also say that the kingship become part of us. There is no way we can now differentiate the kingship, which is the rulership, and the people, because they've now interwoven over thousands of years. That you can obviously with time begin to understand how things evolve.
So your Oba that you have now, can he link his ancestry to this man who came from the sky?
Yes, obviously.
Really?
That is their lineage. That is the lineage of the Oba. So we as Edo people, we reverence the Oba. We revere him because it's not only that we regard him as he comes from the sky. His behavior, his pattern, the way he does things shows that he's immaculate, he's exceptional in the way he thinks, he does things, he adjudicates justice. This in itself have put him apart to say this man must come from a higher order.
Higher spiritually.
Order, yes, because both spiritually and physically, he has proved to be beyond a common man.
When you say you revere him as a people, does this mean, do you worship the Oba?
In essence, yes. All Edo sons and daughters worship the Oba.
What do they worship him as? A god or somebody under God?
They worship him as God in human form.
Wow.
We see him as God in human form. That's why, even as I speak now, I can't be derogative about what I say, because I see him as someone who have put Edo people on the map. It's like when someone have done exceedingly well for a race, you begin to see him as God, as you can't just speak about him in a derogative sense. You begin to see him as this man must have something different that we don't have. That's why he's able to fathom, you're able to conceptualize how things could be and then put it to work, and it do come to pass.
Are there any things that the Oba has done, whether the Obas of the past or the current Oba, anything supernatural or different that makes him stand out as not just a normal human being?
Yes. As I have explained before, Edo people were just a people till somebody rose and say, we will become powerful. He have conceptualized to say, okay, let's build moats to protect our region. If you go to Edo or from Benin City, you see that moats have different levels. The first moat, which is the one that creates the city, there's also another moat protecting the surrounding communities. So it was not just we are protecting ourselves from invaders. It was also the others are part of us. We should also protect them. So that in itself is excellent. It's a selling value to say, if this is being done for you, what will prevent you from saying this man must be given due respect? That's one. Imagine at a time where there is war everywhere and people are being caught as slaves, but you can't see any Benin man or woman being a slave anywhere in the world.
So are you saying that during the transatlantic slave trade, no Benin people were taken to other parts of the world?
No.
Wow, I didn't know this.
Nobody was taken as slave. We are born free. Every Benin man is a free born. We are not among those people that were trafficked for any reason in name of slave trade.
And this is because of the Oba?
Yes, because we gained the protection. The people were protected, where the people from the army, they go outside, get people to be transported as slaves. So that's why in the world, when you talk of people who came back from slavery after a lot of time, you can't see any of that in the corridor of Edo people or Benin as a nation. Okay, there are evidence in Lagos where people came back from slavery and came back to Nigeria, came back to part of Lagos. Then a lot of that too, people in other countries were part of the returning slaves. You can't see us there. However, there were some Edoid. What I mean is there are some people who were Edo in terms of cultural relationship. Like when you get to Lagos Island, those areas are Edoid because at the time that was another Eco, we call it, is another part and a branch of the Benin Kingdom.
I thought Echo was Yoruba Kingdom.
No, not entirely.
Okay.
The part of the where we call Lagos today, there were a lot of people who lives there. Part of it were Edo, which is in the island, and the other aspect were Lagos, were Yoruba, and other ethnic groups as well. So Edo people were also part of the ethnic group living there, and they are Yoruba Edoid people.
Okay,
They
I
are
didn't know this.
people who are Edo, but they speak Yoruba. And part of these people were transported though. That's why you see our tradition and custom are far as Brazil. Like if you see the carnival they did, I think last month, you see there were Edo cultural heritage that were displayed. You may ask, how did it get there? That's to say, there are some people who were Edo, by extension, we call it Edoid, that were transported during the slave.
I saw those images, but people were saying that was those were Yoruba. Yoruba gods or so.
A lot has happened in between the Edo, the Yoruba. A lot has happened. Okay, let me drink water first. A lot has happened though.
What happened?
Okay. The Yoruba nation, the rulership as well, is also from a distant land.
You mean also from the sky?
Yes, that's what they say. The same way we say so. That's to say they both must have come from a common location, common birthplace.
But if they're from the sky, they were never born.
Okay. Is there anybody that came from the sky? Except their Nephilims or their angels that were
I was thinking, could they be Nephilim? Okay. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So there's nobody who actually came from the sky.
Except the Nephilim.
Yeah, is either people or not either. Is because people cannot actually pinpoint where they came from.
Okay.
Okay. There is a story that is correct that there was a prince in Edo that were ostracized. He left to Ife. And then when he got there, he met Yoruba people. Because of his extraordinary wisdom and his relationship, he was able, that is why, before I complete that statement, that is why we as Edo people, we serve our king. Not because they are not humans, but because they actually possess superlative intelligence that you as a common or just a Benima, you cannot fathom how these people can conceptualize ideas and bring it forth to say, this is what we're going to do. So the same way, this thing follow the lineage is in the DNA that a prince went to another place, performed exceedingly well, and the people also said he should be our king. Then after some time, the Edo people needed a king and said, yes, a king's son will ostracize. We need to get him back. So when they got there, he has grown old. He had a lot of kids, children, and said, I will give you one of my sons because I'm aged now. I can't go.
Yeah.
one of his sons came back to Benin to become the first Oba. So at that time, we were running the Ogiso system. So that was the first time somebody came back and said, from now on, I'll be addressed as Oba. That same man produced other sons that came to form other kingdoms around the Yoruba metropolis.
Okay. So all the Yoruba kings
Yes,
have
kings.
come from Edo.
One place.
From the Oba of Edo.
That's what we are saying.
So does that mean they also practice the same?
Correct. That is why there is strong relationship between those kings in Yoruba land and the Oba of Benin. Because they came from the same father.
And do they know that?
They know. If you look at the news or the history books, there is strong relationship between the Oba of Lagos, the Alaafin of Uyo, and the Oba of Benin. The Ooni of Ife too, they are all brothers. So while people come around trying to discredit, trying to elevate, try to bring others down, the truth lies there that we as a people are the different persons in all of this. The Edo people are not Yoruba people. We are not related. However, the kingship, the house ruling both Edo and the Yoruba land, they are brothers.
They're all from the same
father.
The Oba of Edo. Wow.
That Oba that came from the sky. The Ogiso.
Okay, so what does Ogiso mean?
It means the Ogi king that came from the sky.
Ogiso, king that came from the sky.
Yes. Ogiso. Iso means sky. The reason why this is significant, we need to be able to preach togetherness because we are becoming too divided among this is Edo, this is Yoruba. We will fight politics. We will also fight traditionally, which it shouldn't be. Most of us have gone out of the country and I've seen how people were diverse begin to now form alliances and now decide to say we will be one. And at all levels, they suppress that division discussion. Like, nobody is going to come to England now or the United Kingdom and begin to say Scottish, the English, because they were different in the first instance. And the English, which is the England resident, used to oppress the Scottish.
Yeah.
That is in the history book, right? Then, at the time, they said, no, we're going to lay our sword down and we form a united front.
Yes.
So now you cannot come to any podcast or any online and begin to say, this is what was done to Scottish people at the time. Nobody needs that, right? They all are coming out together to form a united front and form the United Kingdom to the most powerful country in the world. Then, apart from that, they look forward to lay claim to the throne. I think that's where the rulership of these areas are failing. When they are coronating the king, when I watched it on the TV, I was still in Nigeria. You see that he went to Scotland, he went to Wales, he toured the country before he came back. Why is he doing that? To as a sense of belonging, for people to understand that I may be in London,
but I belong to all of you.
I belong to all of you. So if these things are done in order for the kingship to unite, to say we will unite the people to fight for a common ground, a common goal for betterment of everybody. Nobody will be dragging Who is this? In all of that, who does it pay?
Can you tell me a bit about some of the important, like any important times or points in history in the Benin Kingdom Empire?
Yeah.
Like, did they ever meet with the colonizers when they came in?
Yes.
What was that like? I need to know.
That's what makes us exceptionally unique. What make Edo unique? Like, the reason why I want to talk about this is a lot of us at this age, if you born 50 years ago till now, you see that a lot of people don't want to be associated with, when you're talking about Edo or Benin Kingdom.
Why?
They don't want to be associated because of a lot of things that have gone down the drain in terms of the reorientation. I think that's another question, the reorientation. Okay? People don't want to be associated with, when you talk, if you come online and begin to talk about why it is important for us to know where we are from, people tend to say, that's none of business here. We want to focus on moving on. But nobody moves on if you don't know where you're coming from. The root is more powerful than the fruit. So that is why we understand the root. If you mention that you are from Edo, the rooms sounds different. Everybody tends to look at you. When I traveled to Lagos the first time, and I said I'm from Edo, the man, having had some relationship with Edo people, already trust me to be able to get a good job done, because they know Edo people don't lie, they don't cut corners, they are hardworking, they just focus on results. These are the tenets in which the Edo spirit is built: hard work, being truthful, being straightforward. And that is our spirit. Things have changed because of the reorientation, which we'll get to though. Now, we're talking about points of our lives, of our history. The first time that we will mention is in the 1400.
You go back that long?
Yeah, where the Portuguese came first and came to our land. Now, before then, we were documenting our lives in bronze, on wood.
You were writing?
That is the way we preserve our history, our story.
That means you have, let me not say alphabets, but you have written language.
Not written language.
How?
Documenting our history was in form of objects.
Okay.
The one they now call artifacts now.
Yes.
So while Chinese were inventing paper, none other countries, no, even the British, they were writing on papyrus, right? The Europe were writing on some certain. The Europeans are the pioneer of the writing historical documentation. The Africans, that is not our way. We are oral tradition.
Yes.
It is only Benin, only Edo people that said, to corroborate, to back up what we have said, we need pictures. That is why we engage in those documentation. What we now call artifact today was not actually, we are not doing it in fact, that word have not come to us, that, artifact, we'll put in a museum. No. There were storage for Edo. That, okay, this is the head of Oba Buddha. This is the head of Oba Ware. Because the story have gone far to even the people in Orion that have not even come to Benin. They've heard the story. Their father have related to them that, this is who he was. He was a mighty man. He did that. He stabilized the economy. He expand the territories. He did all of this. Then you came to Benin and you saw the picture in form of art.
You saw
Then,
the face.
yeah, it become indelible that you will know him and understand how they started it. Okay, in what best form can we document? That goes back to we saying the Oba came to give us a direction and a purpose. He also commissioned
The work.
the work.
Okay.
He sponsored it. In fact, we have a guide for this. They call them Igbesanwa people. That is the work they do.
Those are the people that
the broadcasting. A child is born, is being taught how this is done, and they grow up with it. It's transferred along their bloodline. So that take us back to the 1400.
Yes, tell me about that.
Where the Portuguese came.
So before you tell me how when they came, what was the Benin Kingdom like at that point? So you've mentioned the people that documented things. What else was there like? Did you have big walls? What was it like?
At the time, the Benin were as beautiful as it has ever been. Till now, we can't even recognize how it was. The way they documented in pictures, the way people who saw it, who were there, described how beautiful. There were streets, there were street lights, there were good paved way.
They had street lights?
Yes.
You mean like the fire ones, not electricity?
Yeah. Obviously, there was no electricity. But still, at that time, in 1400s, people could conceptualize to say, okay, we can't be walking in the dark. Let's put a street light.
Wow.
Drainage system where the water can go.
Drainage system in the 1400s.
That's what we're saying. So the Portuguese came and found our artwork fascinating. That is where the business of the art came in. So at that time, it was not a means of the selling or buying. It was the Portuguese that opened our eye to this is business. We could take it back to Europe and it becomes something worth buying for. Okay? Then we begin to trade with the Portuguese, although a lot of things also, but the bronze was the center of the business. So there were a lot of it that were being commissioned for production, money were coming in, and then the business was booming. In the 1400s. That's why I said that was the first significant year. Although we will talk about other time of the war, conquering, but I'm not really concerned about all of that. What I'm concerned about, what significant year changed the history of how we now see ourselves. That's why we mentioned the 1400s, the first year we met the Portuguese.
Before you go on, in case anybody is saying that what he's saying is a lie, I just want to read, there's a document that was, I think there's a historical document. I think it was in Parliament or something. Let me just read that document, which actually confirms what you're saying. Because you just mentioned that, the Edo Kingdom, that there were street lights, you had paved roads.
Yeah.
You were able to, all of that was done back in the day. So let me just read this document. It confirms what you're saying. And I'm guessing back then they didn't have beggars on the street,
obviously
poverty, people. So this is...
In fact, till now, Benin, Edo people don't beg. We are not part of the begging gang.
This letter, this is from Lord Macaulay, and this is 1835. It says, I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values. You talked about moral values.
Yeah.
People of such caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation. So just to mention, see that, there was there were high morals, people were doing well. There was no suffering like we're seeing now.
We're actually a thriving nation. A thriving nation. So when you understand these books, the reason why I don't quote books is it's not part of the Edo heritage.
But you use books in school, don't you?
Yeah. we rely on more of the oral narrative.
Okay.
Then I think that was also our own doing, but you can never tell because we don't really know what is paper. Paper within event. Benin Empire and the Edo people don't use what they don't invent at the time. Everything they use is what they invent because they were among the elites of a kingdom. So we didn't invent paper writing. What we invent is you tell your story, you keep telling stories. People were educated to tell stories.
And the artifacts that you did also to
Then,
preserve.
in order to preserve this for corroborative purposes, let's begin to put it in bronze
Okay.
for safekeeping.
So you stopped at the point where you talked about the Portuguese. What happened after?
So the Portuguese came, then business boomed.
Okay.
That is where we begin to have influence in terms of cash flow, in terms of expanding the kingdom, in terms of people wanting to be with us. In fact, people will come to surrender because we have all they dream about. All they think they could have, we have it in terms of the money, in terms of everything, in terms of farm, in terms of the people, the kind of caliber of people you need, we have it.
What did you use as money back then?
We use trade by barter.
Okay.
We also use the cowries. At the time, cowries was a precious stone. You have to be exceptional to have a cowries. That means you must have belonged to the inner chamber to have cowries. So cowries was not even a means of trade for the poor. You have farm, so you can trade by barter. You have yam, the other have oil, you can exchange. But cowrie was for the wealthy class because to have cowries at the time is like today when we talk about you having gold.
Gold, yeah.
Because someone had to go deep down the sea to extract cowries,
Wow.
polish it, and make it useful because cowrie don't decay.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
I've seen cowries before. My grandfather had some cowries.
Yeah, people put it's now a part of fashion trend because it's easy to get now. At the time, it was a scarce commodity. You need to get through a lot to really get it. So that was a means of trade. Then, as time goes on, because we are expanding the kingdom to other parts, we need to build larger military.
Okay, you had an army back then.
Yes, that's what makes us powerful. What makes Edo people tick is the strength of our army, that they can go anywhere, conquer, and come back. So we invested in the armed forces, the military, to be able to go to any part of the world, fight war, and come back.
Did you people ever leave Africa back then to other places, or was it just within Africa?
Within Africa, as far as Ghana,
places. Okay.
To those areas.
So you told me a lot of good things about the Edo people and the Benin Empire, but what was the undoing? What was your undoing?
The undoing is never really being a scribe.
What do you mean by that?
We didn't learn the art of writing, documentation in terms of writing. I think even when the Portuguese came, we discovered that they were scribe, but we never take it seriously as it would have been a game changer. Because just imagine in the 1400s, somebody is able to write everything that happened 365 days of the year till now. That means everything would be a center of reference for all the kingdoms in Africa to come and see what they need. At least we would have a Library of Congress as well.
Well, how was that your own doing? Is that what caused
Yeah.
you to be conquered?
No, that's not what. That's a story for the other day.
I want to know. Now tell me, how did the kingdom become conquered?
The kingdom began. The war was in 1897. Before then, the British was already in the country, in the region. They were in a lot of locations, and they were observing the way we do things. Meanwhile, the Portuguese have already sold the information in the Berlin Conference. I stand to be corrected. I have asked some British people, do you think that the reason why the Portuguese is still hold in high regard today is because they sold the precious information to the world? He laughed. He thinks I know what really happened in Berlin Conference, even if I wasn't there. Because how do you put Portugal in the world map as powerful, even when they are not known for anything? That means they were the information, the CIA of the world then. So they were going to all the nook and crannies, gathering information to be sold, to give these people what they need. I think, for me, in my opinion, that's why they still hold Portuguese in high regard, because what they need is in their possession. Because how do you explain that some men were commissioned, sponsored in the 1400s to come to Africa, begin to document everything they found, begin to go to nook and cranny, do business, form relationship, establish a church in Benin, Benin City.
They established a church in 1400, even though you were worshiping the Oba.
Yes, even if we have our own religion. We call it traditional religion. There's a lot of gods.
You'll tell me a bit more about that, but after you finish telling me about the conquering.
So they did all of that, but no war, no fight. They went back.
They were just being friendly.
The British came back. Before the British came, they already mapped out the region. They mapped out where strong-head people are, where the money is, where the commerce go, where the religion is, where the strong people are. Who gave them?
Portuguese.
That could be Portuguese.
Yeah.
But it's not in any book that Portuguese sold the information to them.
But those are the only people you met.
Yes.
Yeah.
How come people that came just now understand how everything is done? That means somebody
and know the weaknesses.
Good.
Yeah.
Then in 1856 or thereabout, 1851, the Benin-Akure War happens, whereby we have a camp. Till today, there is a Edo community close to Akure. We have a camp there that were watching the Deji of Akure. They watch over what is happening, because they, at the time, they were paying homage to the Benin Empire. So the way the military is set up is, in all these locations, there is camp, military barracks. We have military barracks, camps set around different locations, watching over people that pay homage to us so that they don't deviate from their agreement. So they kill 2 Benin men, and then that resulted to a full-fledged war in the 1850. And then Akure were conquered. The son of Deji were killed. Obviously, the son were taken back to Benin to be taught in the Benin way, loyalty. And then at the time, he went back to become Deji.
What does this Deji mean?
That's the name of their king.
The king?
Yeah, it's a king in Akure. So there's no Oba of Akure. If you check internet, it will tell you Deji of Akure, the way we have Oba of Benin or Oni of Ife. They have Deji of Akure.
Deji.
Yeah. So at that time, the British was already in this area we now call Nigeria. They have already bombarded Lagos Island at this time. Get the train of information. So in 1830s, British bombarded Lagos Island in a bid to stop the slave trade. That is what they said, that we have abolished slave trade, but you people are still selling slave. So they came, a full-fledged war happens. Kosoko had to fled.
This war was the British against Nigerians?
Yeah. Yes. In 1832 or thereabouts.
And it's to prevent this slave trade?
Yes, to finally stop the slave trade.
By
It's
coming
in the
and
books.
fighting and killing us?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the books.
Okay.
They waged war in Lagos Island and annihilate thousands of people in a bid that they must stop slave trade. The question people don't ask, if you are the one that brings sheep, because obviously we don't manufacture sheep.
Yeah.
There's nobody in this region that can make a ship that can travel as far as Europe. That means you people brought sheep.
Yes.
Then, if you said we are the ones still selling slave, who is buying it? Who is bringing the sheep?
Yes.
Those questions are not being answered. However, a war happened, and the Lagos Island were burnt down. The Kosoko, where the Oba of Lagos, fled. They conquered. That is why they now call it Victoria Island. It used to be Eko. That is why it became Lagos Island, Victoria Island.
After their queen.
After their queen, when they conquer it, then they put in a person that can listen to them. So when you see the train of action, the chain reaction of that war, you understand that it was not because of slave trade. They want you to understand that the boss have arrived.
Yeah, it's almost like building up to the final colonization.
Good. So
putting everything in place. All the little things in place.
Now they control the West African corridor of trade, which was Lagos, which is still Lagos though. That is where everything happened. Now they are in charge. When they were still in the country, in this region, then you hear somebody somewhere is waging war bigger than their own, without using guns, without using the war armament they use, but is winning.
You're saying that the Akure war
happened after that
was bigger than what
yes
they were doing. Wow.
Imagine people came with cheap, came with
guns,
trained army,
everything.
guns, and is waging war.
That's bigger than what?
And then somebody after like 20 years.
Sorry, that's smaller than what you put.
Yeah. 20 years later, you were still in the country. They were still coming to Benin to do business. In that same time, we wage war against Akure town.
Wow.
So they already know from what is available that this is not people we are going to come in and persuade them to agree for us to be lord over them. So it was a gradual planning, orchestration. That's why till now we still feel we were wage war against, not because we kill their entourage. It was a calculated plan that they already knew that on that day we don't entertain visitors. Till now, on that day where we are doing those festivals, we don't entertain visitors. They know, and they know the consequences, but they want to use that as the apple.
Tell me what happened, because I've never heard this story.
Oh.
I've never heard this story before in my life.
I'm sure many people do not. So when there is a Lent period, fasting period of the Edo people.
Okay, you used to fast.
Yeah,
Okay.
we used to fast as well. Then within that time, foreigners don't visit the kingdom. They don't visit. On this fateful time, these white folks came to the kingdom that they want to see the Oba. That is when the guard said, no, at this time, we don't entertain visitors. Oba don't want to see you. So it was an affront of the law. Then the guards have to take laws, have to follow the due process, which has been how things are done. You can't disobey a clear order from the Oba and decide to walk out of life. So they were killed, and then that led to the war of 1897.
So they brought their entourage to come and see the Oba in a fasting period where you received no guests.
No guests.
And so the guards killed them.
Yeah.
And because of that, they waged war on the Benin Kingdom.
So it was orchestrated. It was planned that this is what is going to happen and this is what we're going to do. Because over hundreds of years, you have been doing business with us. You have understand how we do things.
They have the information.
They have all the information. So if you are told, in fact, you are not supposed to come at that time, because last year you saw it, you didn't come. 2 years ago, there have been reasons for them not to be around. That's to say, it was a planned time for them to strike, because no two sheriffs should be in town. So they have shown they are the new sheriff in the Lagos war.
Yeah.
And you too, after 20 years more, you went and waged war while we are still around. Come on now.
What happened next?
It was a full-fledged war in 1897. It was a full-fledged war that the palace were burned down, a lot of places in Benin. In fact, Edo people were thrown into disarray because they were war in Benin City. So that in itself was a defining moment, was the game changer of the Benin history and story.
Did they conquer you?
That's what it means. Because look, from that time, the way things have been, is now being done, is different the way it was before. Now, a governor is more powerful than the Oba.
What happened to your Oba when they came to conquer?
So he was exiled to Calabar, and that's where he stays and dies. So the reason why I said that war changed in fact, he removed the veil from the kingdom, that people begin to now understand that, oh, that means it's not a god after all. It's just human after all. Oh, is this possible? Oh, we could do this. A man that you've seen as God is now being exiled to Calabar, died in Calabar. Now nothing happens. Then, when it was his son's time to become king, many people wanted to stop that.
Why?
The same story I told you, that the Obaship is not Edo people. It's a man that came from the sky or somewhere. So when that happened, some people came up and said, no, since it's not even our son,
since he's not one of us, really.
It's not one of us, really. We can use this opportunity to remove, to do away with them, and then we can rule ourselves.
Did they succeed in doing that?
No. That is why when you sit down today and understand and think about it, you see that it is beyond human imagination that the Oba of Benin, the palace, the kingship is still standing.
The same bloodline.
Yes, the same bloodline. And looking at what they've passed through, what has happened, it has shown that they are really beyond human comprehension.
Can you tell me a bit about the traditional religious practices of the Edo people?
Okay.
So I know you revere the Oba
Yeah.
as a god. So
Yeah.
what's involved in traditional practices?
Okay. While we see Oba as a god, we also have other gods as well.
Okay.
We have the Ogun, the Olokun as well.
Is Ogun the one people always shout Ogun kill you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unlike the way they now say it though, Ogun used to be as active as you said it. The reason why people say it now and nothing happened is because they are not ingrained into the core of the Ogun worship.
What is the story of Ogun? Where is he from?
People will say he's a man as well.
Okay.
Okay. He's a man. The reason why the worship of the Benin of the Edo people is we worship ancestors. So the Ogun himself is a man too. The Olokun is also a man as well.
That lived and have died.
Yes. So the center of Edo people worship is ancestral worship. So you can actually see your grandfather will have died and say, this is him. Your father will have died, you say, this is him. Then you can actually pray to them, do the necessary rites, and then they can also do all that the other religion says their God does. You understand? So the Ogun himself is also a man, but he was skilled in iron.
Killed by iron?
Skilled
Skilled in
iron.
Okay.
So when you go to war, he will be in forefront. He has all the equipment of war, ironworks. Okay? That is why we begin to worship
Revere him, is it?
Ogun, because in the difficult days, you're going to find the iron to part the way. Even Moses did. He used the iron to part the Red Sea, right? The rod that was with him. He used it to part the Red Sea. So we see as like if the road become difficult, is the god of Ogun you're going to call upon to part the way, to
So if
provide
the
the
wall became
direction.
thick,
Yeah.
it's Ogun that will go and
Good.
clear. Okay.
That's why the people who are really into the Ogun worship don't use the Ogun the way general public use Ogun kill you any little thing. No. It's as powerful. If you have Ogun as a god in your house, you don't curse Ogun because it will happen. As you said it will happen. So people venerate Ogun and put it in their house. If you go to Benin now, you hardly see a house without Ogun. Some people who are well-to-do will put it in a very decorative place in their house, build a house for it. Sometimes they put it inside of the house. And you will see that when the road gets thick and tough, they will get a fowl, cola, and a hot, and go there and pray. Everything they want, to be said there while hitting the Ogun. And so they've said, so it shall be. That is why it's not just a word to say Ogun kill you in Benin, in Edo. You understand? For someone who really understand how powerful that word is, do not use it as you would like.
Can you tell me about the other gods that?
There is Olokun as God as well. That's the god of the sea. We also see as god of beauty, fertility, and riches.
That a female god?
No,
Okay.
But he is a god that is a king, a man, but has female friends, female followers.
Okay. Because
So,
of the fertility. Is it?
yes, the Ogun in itself was a man who went to hunt.
Okay.
That's the Olokun. And then saw a river that was shining, and it was called down into the sea, into the water. Spent some days, some weeks, some months, and came out
Inside the water.
inside the water.
And then came out.
Came out to become the new way of life. So, for people who understand how these things work, do not play, even I don't play with the Olokun God. That's why in another time I said, if anybody, any Benin man said he's a Christian, he said that he's lying or he doesn't know what he's doing.
But you said you're 10% Christian.
Yes, for what do they call it? For social reasons. So most Edo people are 10% Christians for social reasons. Because if you tell somebody that you are a traditional worshiper, he will see you differently if he knows what it means.
So are you a traditional worshiper then?
I'm an Edo man, so it therefore means I'm 90% traditional worshiper.
Okay.
Ancestors.
So you worship your ancestors?
Yes. I give them more than I give to the one they call the Christian God.
Okay. So you do... What else is involved in this worship? You do sacrifices?
Yes. We do sacrifices in order to appease. Okay, let's make it easy. When you look at the Christian way of worship, they said you need to make God happy so that he can bless you. Then I said, seek first the kingdom of God and every other thing will be added to you. That is the basics of Christianity, right? Okay. The same way with the traditional religion, we make our ancestors happy, that you can now tell them what you want, how you want it, and then every other thing will be added to you. How do you make them happy? Is by giving them the sacrifices. In fact, we see that before Jesus, which was the Abrahamic relationship, it used to be animal sacrifices.
Yes.
That if you want something, you know animal must have to be used.
Before Jesus?
Yes. When Jesus came, then they changed the story. But let's end where Jesus appeared. Before then, this our way was the way that you want something, you need to go kill animal, right? You need some cola nut, you need some hot, you need to set some fire, you need some sprinkle of water. That is what we still practice. The same way the Judaism till now.
They still shed blood.
Yes. That is it. So when you look at it, we are not far from how it was. We are not bringing in a new religion. It's just that the Christians said from Jesus things change, which we don't agree. We still stick to how it was before Jesus came.
Okay.
Which is more direct, which is more purposeful, which is more easier. Now, anybody could do whatever they like and then go and sow seed in the church.
I think that is, well, people have corrupted the way it works. So many people that are practicing Christians today are not practicing it the pure and proper way.
I don't know. I don't know how it's practiced though.
Okay.
Although I can say I used to know. Till I said, this is not working for me.
So Christianity did not work for you?
And I'm not sure it's still working for a lot of people.
So that's why you continue being a traditionalist?
Yeah. I think most people are seeing it as a charade, as a social endeavor. You go to church, dress nice, smell nice, dance, sing, greet everybody, come home.
as a Christian, I unfortunately would have to agree with you on that many people are not practicing Christianity the proper way. Christianity was never meant to be a religion, really. Jesus didn't come to create religion.
Well,
Jesus came to actually connect people directly to God. Jesus, in his day, was speaking against the religious powers that were there.
Okay.
So many people have turned Christianity into something that is not. Even the first time they used the phrase Christianity, it was to mock the people that were imitating Christ, like little Christ. But yeah, you're right. Today, things have changed a lot. So I do understand why you're a traditionalist.
Yeah.
But if I had known you were a traditionalist, I would have poured holy oil.
Obviously,
When was the last time you did a sacrifice, by the way?
that is the beauty of the African traditional religion. Why sometimes you need to be there first, but another time somebody could do it for you.
Sacrifice for you. So people offer sacrifices for you right now.
Yeah, on your behalf, yeah. People do sacrifice on my behalf as well. People offer prayers on my behalf. The same way people leave their pastor to be praying for them as well. So, but the African traditional religion, which is the Edo religion, is quite different. Okay. You need to be involved. You need to understand how it works. You need to follow the tenets, what the do's and the don'ts, so that it will work for you. There is no way you pray to Ogun to clear your way, do all the sacrifice, and then result comes, you now go and sow seed in the church. The Ogun will be vexed, but God will not be vexed if he does something for you and you never show up.
You don't
the Christian way. I don't know if their own is angry as well, but I know if I go and pray to Ogun or to Olokun and say, this is my situation, this is where I want to be, please help me, and I do the necessary thing, and then it does happen, it is good for me. It is imperative, it is important, very important, that I go back to say thank you for all you have done.
Okay.
By giving him more of what he first required, to say thank you. Because we need to make our ancestors happy in order for them to open the gates of heaven and pour us a blessing.
You just use the Bible phrase.
I don't know. That's how it works. So that's why we say, if you look at it, all religion were once one. The different dimensions of it begin to come up. This one say Islam, Muhammad, Christian, Buddha. If you look at it, if you look at the foundation of it, it's really the way African religion is.
So before I go on, I just want to ask a question and be very honest. What do you honestly think about people like me who say we are Christians, even though we are Nigerians and Africans? What do you honestly think? You can be honest.
Okay.
I won't be offended.
I don't see any reason why anybody will want to be a Christian. That's the honest truth, because it does not reflect your true identity. Christianity does not reflect our true identity. That's the actual fact. It does not really speak to our spirit the way it should. That's why you see people running up and down, going to church, pray, do fasting when they should be doing other things.
So you think that I'm not reflecting my true identity by being a Christian?
By being a Christian, because there are a lot that is limited. In fact, you are limited.
You think I'm limited?
Yeah,
okay.
I think you are limited.
Okay.
I think you are limited if you continue to be a Christian.
You think I'm limited? Okay.
Yes. I think it's only people who have understand the business of Christianity, understand their true identity, that make good use of Christianity as a vehicle for making wealth.
Well,
those are the pastors. I know a lot of pastors that go to native doctor.
You know them personally?
Yeah, personally. That have big churches, but they still do the sacrifice. They have Ogun, they have all of them. Somebody They pay, they supply the necessary money to buy what he needs to do the sacrifice for them. That this is fact. This is what people will not come out to say. That I have seen pastors in native doctor in shrine. These are because it is.
You see them in shrine.
Yeah.
And what do you normally wear in the shrine? Is it white and red like a Nigerian
No, you
film?
dress normal. The only thing is you don't wear black.
Okay.
You don't come to shrine with black. You can wear any other color. It should not be black. Yeah, it can be other color. I have seen them coming to. I'm going there.
Pastors.
Yeah, we meet there.
Are they successful pastors?
Yes, with big churches as well.
How big?
Really big.
Obviously, you won't mention the name of the church.
No.
Yeah.
But it's not to spite them. That's why I said they have understand that Christianity is a vehicle for making wealth. And they've understand that if you don't connect to the root where you're really from, it's not really going to, life is not really going to happen. That's why you see some Americans will tell you, I travel to Africa to see the safari. It's not really safari they went to do. Some, when after the safari, where the cameras lighting goes, they go to where they really came for. I will tell you, you can Google this documentary of a woman who left America to South Africa to start gold mining. The first thing she does was to go to shrine, to throw oracle, to understand, to see if the gods are happy. If you look where Mr. Bones shows it how he really is. If you watch Mr. Bones, you will see that the American guy that came and become king was all engulfed in the spiritual journey. Right? I think, I can't remember his name. So that has shown that some people have tried to really open our eye to the real truth, that people come from all over the world to Africa to see true wisdom, to understand, and then go back. Then you begin to see doors begin to open because you've not connected. There's people who may begin to say, okay, you are saying now, are you a billionaire? Maybe you have been. The people that are billionaires, did you see them running around the churches? No. Then if you're going to be personal about it, you may not even know the story behind a man that have now come to sit here on this chair in London. Right? So how do you say somebody who came from the village with no light, no tap water, no university, no good teachers? At the time, we have only 6 teachers in our secondary school where we have thousands of students. So now we wear suit and sit in London to discuss important issues. So I must have come from a very long way. Do you think if I continue to be a Christian without really understanding the simple things that will make me somebody, I'm sure I won't be here, because I would have still been in one uncompleted church praying for God to throw manna from heaven.
I think that's the mistake many people make. They think that they find God in the church.
Oh.
But it's not the church you go to find God. You find God where you are. You can connect with God right where you are. So yes, people have turned Christianity into some sort of business. People are using it as a vehicle to try and achieve things. But it's the truth.
Is that?
Yeah, I know why I will call myself a Christian, because I worship the God of the Bible. Do you understand? So I will have to use that label of Christian because I worship the God of the Bible. But I personally understand how deep I am in my relationship with God. I know it's a direct relationship. I know I have called on God's name many times and I have seen God do things right there and then. So I understand why I call myself a Christian, because I believe in the name of Jesus. Oh,
that's good. That's good.
I don't think you don't want me to say what I think about you being a traditional worshiper, do you?
No, it's It's personal.
We can agree to disagree on things.
You can. Because when we look at where we're really from and see the evil that have been done to us, we have no other choice than to just be who we should be.
Yes.
Okay? Because we were traditional worshippers, worshiping our ancestors when we were making exploits. Then you came with your Christian religion and destroy our spirit.
It's not me that came with it.
Yeah. Then we have now found our feet and say, oh, I think we've come of age to say no to all of that, face where we should face, worship who we should worship, and then we are rising. You see a lot of noises everywhere. Now, if you tell young boys of today to say, no, that Christianity will not lead you to where you are going, they think that without Christianity, there would have not been education.
Which is not true.
There would have not been development. They forget that the Christians that came were the ones that really destroyed.
Yes, what was there? Destroyed the development and the kingdoms that were there already.
Before the transatlantic slave trade, the world were balanced. The whole world were almost at the same level in terms of development, in terms of the rural, urban living, because at that same time, there were peasant farmers in Scotland.
Yes.
There were scholars in England. There were scholars in Rome. But still, there were scholars in Benin City. There were farmers in Umogunahua. Okay? The world were balanced until the slave trade hit, whereby we had to push all our able-bodied men through the Atlantic Ocean to develop other countries. Whereas we are depleted of people who could fight war, who could farm, who could reproduce, who could teach, who could show by example of how we should live. It's like all the brains that should have spearheaded the next generation of development were shipped out. So when the Industrial Revolution came, we have nobody on ground. That is where the inequality started from. If there were no slave trade, everybody were on equal footing. I can assure you, light would have been in Edo State as well.
If people didn't leave their countries to come and conquer other people's countries.
Yes. In this crucial time where there were industrial revolution in other countries, our Oba were not in the aim of affair.
It's banished.
All right. Then there were people administering authority, telling us when you should sleep, when you should wake up, where you should go, where you should stay. Whereas in their country, they were developing it. Right? So that is where the inequality. People forget that this is where the wrong started. That if these Christians do not really come to us, industrial revolution is happening in their place, we would have also had the industrial revolution.
Yeah. After all, you had iron.
Yes,
you had already started getting all
when
those
they have
things.
the agrarian revolution, we also have agrarian revolution as well. It was the industrial revolution that we all missed.
And you had the street lights of fire. They had the street lights of fire
as well.
Yeah, so you were already making progress. We were already making progress. In our own way, on our own terms.
In our own terms.
Before they brought everything else. Wow. Let me just, because of time, let me just ask you a bunch of questions that I haven't asked.
Okay.
Actually, before I go into these questions, I'll ask you just one question.
All right.
Do you believe, yes, that the Oba who came from the sky, the other could have been a Nephilim? Yes or no?
No.
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 No. Okay.
It couldn't have been an angel from the sky. I think that it came from somewhere on earth.
Okay.
I think. However, there was a time that one of the Oba sons were a giant.
One of the Oba sons was a giant?
Yeah, really.
Like David and Goliath giant?
Giant, yeah.
Wow.
So his image is still in Udo.
How tall was he?
really tall and big and mighty.
But really, that still ties in with the Bible history of Nephilim.
Really tall, big in size. So he would have been the Oba, but the Edo people were very afraid that he's too strong, he's too war-oriented, he's not diplomatic enough. So if we make him king, maybe he will plunge the whole state to war.
Destroy. Yeah.
So they didn't allow him to be king. So he reside in the area now called where Presco is. So if you go into Presco in Udo, you will see his statue moved along the road there.
That's really exciting for me.
Till now, the Enogi there don't come this side.
What's Enogi?
Enogi. Okay. The system of rulership of the Benin Kingdom is not only that Oba is the all and all. So he's the center of the kingship, right? Then he has Enogi, which is the smaller king.
Okay.
In all communities. So in a community that cannot have Enogi, they will have Odionwere. Odionwere is the eldest. In a community that cannot have any of these, they will have Ohen. These people oversees the affair of that jurisdiction and then report to the Oba.
Okay.
There is a lot. In fact, the military setup of the country, of current countries, can say they understand how it is done from the way the Edo people
do it, because they already had a good system working.
We have the military regiment, we have the order in order, where the information flow to in terms of the way military is set up as well. Yeah.
How has colonialism affected the preservation and perception of Edo culture and identity?
Negatively. The colonialism is really the reason why it is difficult to convince somebody from Edo to say, why don't you embrace our culture, our heritage, and our tradition? Because colonialism came with, they call it the 3 C's.
What are those?
3 C's is commerce, Christianity, and culture. So when the British came, they came with the 3 C's. Commerce, where is the money coming from? We hijack it, Lagos. Then what make them tick is religion. Let's bring Christianity. Okay? Then the last C, commerce and the culture. So at a time, there were churches everywhere as part of the colonial setup. So they are not here to just oversee everything. They were here to systematically take over everywhere. So they will come, oh, everything is good, don't worry. Okay. Oh, if you have any problem, tell your
pastor.
No, tell your leader, which is Enogi.
Okay.
The Enogi is the only one that knows that he can't solve the problem. Then when they tell the Enogi will come and now tell them that, oh, this is what they said, this is. Then you see, by doing so, we can't take action. Unlike before, if something is wrong, you tell Enogi, they mobilize, they go there, they do all the necessary things. Things are back to normal. You can't kill a Benin man and you say we should wait till tomorrow. But now you can go and report to Enogi. They kill somebody. Okay, don't worry. You will come to report to the British masters. Then they will say, oh, we need to go to court. We are investigating. In all of that, you are diminishing confidence. Okay. Now, systematically, they begin to set up churches along with it. They didn't target the youth at that time. They target the children because they were building for the future. So, little children, if you look at the way churches is today, till now, you see that children that is in church. Before now, where you now have adults now, you now have big men, big women in church now. Before then, you go to church, it's all children. They will be teaching them, they set up schools to be able to teach these people how to read and write. So you are aback already to say, okay, at least they are not only learning Bible, they are also learning how to read and write. Then some families will say, no, my children cannot be going to church. They will drive them out of the house. The church have a building. They'll say, oh, your parents drive you out of, okay, come and stay here. So systematically, they were taking the next generation off the Benin way to the Christian way. Thereby, they don't understand where they are from, who they are, who they could be. Then when a child begins to manifest some certain strength or brilliance or endowment, they will say it's evil spirit. That's where the flogging, the punishment came from. It is not in our making to be punishing a child because he behaves certain way. All we need to do is to understand why is this child behaving this way.
So beating children was not an African.
It was not our style. And we can check the history book. Corporal punishment is not the African way. It was brought in a bid to control people. Now, a child who was growing very beautifully at the age of 10 begin to exhibit the one they now call Manje. The pastors will inform the hierarchy of the church to begin to punish the child. That, oh, that is the wicked spirit. Whereas the child have just revealed who she really is. That if we are to be our African way, we know we are to take her to. So that he can grow up and follow his calling or her calling.
Where would she have been taken to?
You would have been taken to the Olokun Shrine to be inducted into the spirit in which I have called her. But because they are not Christians, corporal punishment will be met. Punishment will be met for her that, oh, this is not the way of the Lord. This casting out evil demons, spirit, it all came from all of this, whereby a child who was born into a greater order of things, a leader of the next generation, will now be taken as is being possessed with evil spirits. That is where it all came from. They begin to do that systematically. Then a child who is 5 now, 20 years time will be 30. So a 30-year-old man who have grown up through the Christian rank cannot be told about our African identity. That in itself systematically eroded and washed out the Benin tradition and identity from us. So that's why we say colonialism have done more harm to us as Benin, as Edo people, than any other, because we were really ingrained into understanding our cultural identity and heritage, embracing it with all joy. Nothing in Edo culture is filthy, is useless, is harmful as they paint it. Likewise, me, when I was growing up, I used to think these are all weapon fashioned against me as well. That, oh, if they call them Ohembo.
What does that mean?
The priestess of the gods. If they are dancing, if you watch them too much, you can be possessed and you don't need to go close to them. Just, if they are dancing, just walk your way out. In fact, we see Izobo as, you know what's Izobo? Okay, those sacrifices in junction. At the junction, those sacrifices, we see it as, oh, this is disgusting. But those are what keep the spirit happy. I'm not saying they should be polluting the streets, but even in the UK, the British people do sacrifices, except you are not seeing it. It's because I'm from this background that I can now see what is being done. I'll say, yes, this is not biblical. This is not church related. You go to graveyard. If you go visit any cemetery and see what people do there.
But you put flowers and
they will watch it closely. Anytime you go visit, watch it closely. What happens around there? Then go to some locations in this city. See what they put in. They try and put the one we call Don Baby door. They are marking it, they are dressing it somehow, putting some mark on it, putting some apple, putting some coin and all of that. The same thing we do are being done in this country. If we're going to be elaborate about certain things, people will know that Christianity is a cover for all the nations in the world. Is a cover. It's not really what they practice. Let me give an instance. At a time in this country, UK, they were killing people because they were winch. This is facts, right? Then now the question is, why were they killing people for winch? Is it that there's no longer winch and witchcraft in this country?
No, there is.
There is, right? So who were they killing? The poor people, children, who manifest to be. You cannot have the power given to the rich, the elite, and you are a poor man. So they were trying to wipe it off from the poor family because you possess the same power we, the powerful, possess. That means at a time, you guys will grow, we can't control you no more. So it's better we start killing it now. That is why witchcraft is now reserved for the elite in this country.
That is true. They do practice witchcraft till now.
That's true, right?
Which you've seen also from the Epstein files and everything.
They but why is our own now the black story? The one we will now practice in Edo is the problem.
Mr. Osawuru, I would never in my life had imagined that I would be sitting down with a traditional worshipper who still does sacrifices and everything, having a calm, meaningful, and respectful conversation.
Thank you.
I just want to ask one question. In the Edo traditional worship, is there a devil?
Yes, there is a devil.
What is his name?
The devil is not the one the Christian. We call it Esu.
Esu.
Yes. There are certain things that we need Esu to do.
But if he's evil or he's a devil, why would you need him to do
No,
things?
it's not the devil you paint. The Christian religion paints.
Okay.
So that also dates back to the colonial whitewashing.
Okay.
That they begin to see the good things that we are doing, that also they are doing. Then they will bring something, they will write something in the Bible. They will write it in and begin to preach it that, oh, you see, this is what God said. Facts have come out that most of the things in the Bible were not originally there, right? These are facts. That most of the things that are being preached in the Bible were not originally in the Bible, and some parts were not included. Now, we believe that Esu is a figure or it's a God that you can also use to do something meaningful to our life. I'm not an Obo.
What's an Obo?
Obo is a native doctor, the person that have been ordained. Like we see pastors. It's Obo that can tell you this is what it does, this is how it is. But because I have an encounter with all of this, I can say, okay, if I need to do this, this is where I should go. If you have problem, if an Edo person have problem from problem, then you go and you consult. They will tell you, go and appease the issue. So they will give you a list of things to buy, then they will go to where issue. To a layman view, they don't understand, but there are locations where people can find the issue.
See him and meet him.
Someone. So they will go to a certain place. Not you. If you've been to Edo, you will understand that it's not everywhere they put Izobo, and all Izobo is not the same. So the reason why I'm saying this is for people to understand that these things they make us believe about ourselves is what is getting us backward to where we should never be. If we rise up to say, this our tradition, heritage, that they said is bad, is wicked, we should not be involved. No, we should become Christian. What is really bad about it? There's no human sacrifice in. We don't kill people for fun.
I was going to ask you that, but then
there is no in our tradition that in our worship that we have to sacrifice people.
You don't kill people.
Yes. But they do it in their own and call it in the name of God, right? But we don't do it. So in essence, we practice the purest form of human-related worship that we can now see human can be proud to be involved and be part of. That, okay, if you have problem, you need to solve it the right way. That, okay, problem, what should I do? Oh, they will consult and say, what you need to do is go and appease the issue. We will go to certain locations, not all streets, not anywhere. A location will be shown after they've done the oracle that this is where we can summon the issue.
And meet with him.
And go and put the sacrifice there.
Have you summoned the issue before?
Not me. I said the Obo.
Okay.
Who is being ordained. The same way they ordain pastors. There are also people that have been ordained to be able to do these things. Okay. I am a partial partaker of, okay, I need something. Please, this is the issue. Check for me. What could be the problem? Oh, this is the problem. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, let's get it done. The same way Saul in the Bible went and consult and said, I'm having this issue. You read the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Yes. He went to consult and say, I'm having this issue. The native doctor invoked Samuel's spirit to speak with Saul. Is it not? And then they told Saul what he must do. Is it not? Okay. That's why I said the purest form of religion was actually found before the Christian era. And that is what most people, these billionaires, these elites, still follows.
It has been a very deep conversation, Mr. Osawuru.
Thank you.
And I will still say that I still believe in Jesus.
Yeah, you should. Why not? It's personal. Until you get to a certain level. I was a Christian. I can still say there's nothing in the Bible anybody can bamboozle me with. I've read the Bible 4 times from A to Z, many times. I can say I was part of Jehovah's Witnesses for many years till I decided to say, what really happens? I'm not going to, the reason why I've not talked about pointing out some Christian bodies is because I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses before I decided to say, I think I've done my bit.
And then you went back to being a traditionalist.
Good, because I am also encouraging everybody who listen, who is from Edo, and say, sit down, ask yourself, this religion I'm practicing now called Christianity, is it working for me? Is it giving me the results which I desire? Because the person telling you, put all hope in God, is not putting all hope in God. It's really changing. I'm getting somewhere.
Okay.
The reason why I continue to say the Christianity is not something we should be proud of. Let me give you an instance. Growing up, Jehovah's Witnesses don't take blood. And I have brothers and sisters, friends and relatives that have died because they couldn't take blood.
Sorry to hear about that.
No, you don't need to be sorry. That's what Christianity have done. Do you know how many people we are wheeled to the hospital to say, have a cesarean section? They will say, the pastor said, I will deliver like the Igbo women. The woman will die, the baby will die. Till today, as we are speaking, it still happens. People still believe what the man of God are saying instead of submitting to what is real. People still believe that they will deliver like the Igbo women. Till they said the baby couldn't make, they still do the CS, they lost the baby because of Christianity. Now, to the story I was telling you, now, Jehovah's Witnesses have now come out that you cannot take blood if you want. So, what happened to all the souls, all the people that have been lost, that would have contributed to the family? I have a cousin who gave birth, was bleeding, couldn't take blood, he died. The child is with the father now. The husband raised the child alone. Now you came out and changed the story. I'm not trying to attack any religion, but it is what religion have done to us. Whereas in the country where the religion came from, a doctor can take a legal order to stop the parents from making the decision, and then they will give the child the blood, and the child will be alive. Now let's put in perspective where the Christianity came from. They have a way of digging around that law. But where they brought it to, we don't have a way to dig around that law. We lost our brothers and sisters. That's just one story. We are not going to talk about people who die in stampede for going to crusade of Reorientation. You've not heard of the story?
No.
Oh. People die in stampede for going to a crusade of Reorientation. A lot. So, have you heard of people who died because they are going to native doctor house?
No. Mr. Osawaru, I understand and I agree that Christianity and a lot of people practicing Christianity in a particular way have affected and ruined the lives of many people.
Especially the African nation.
Yes, especially us Africans. I can agree with that 100%. But what I believe is that God is bigger than the religion. God is bigger than Christianity. I believe that many times when we put God within that box
what
of Christianity.
What about those that does not believe that God exists somewhere, but that God is just how it is? the one they call atheists, that are billionaires in the world.
But that's the thing. People think that you should worship God because you want to prosper. I don't believe that.
So what do we worship God for?
We worship God for relationship with God. Well, that's what I believe. I worship God because I want a relationship with God. I want a relationship with the Creator, the person that gave me life. That's what I want. Communion, relationship. I don't worship God for money. I don't worship God because I want to get this or that. That's
African way.
transaction.
That's the African spirit.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that I know my personal relationship with God. I know how long I've gone to churches and I've seen a lot of rubbish. I've seen things happen in churches.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I've seen all of that. I left church for a whole year because of the things I saw happening in church. And in that 1 year I was away from church, I got the biggest understanding of God that there was. I spent time reading my Bible myself. I built a personal relationship with God. And so that is it for me. So for me, when I call on, even though I know, the original name is not Jesus, when I believe that, Christianity is a religion that, God came, I believe a lot of people in the Bible were black. I believe that. Well, I believe that worshiping God is for relationship, not for money, not for wealth, not because you want to make it big. So when I look at people say, I left Christianity because I didn't get this or that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't see it as transaction.
So when did it start becoming a transactional?
Because people have ruined it. Because
it was when is the way the colonial made it to be. Look at which area of the world is religion, especially Christianity, transactional, is in the black community mostly. Yes. When I came to the UK, I've been to church, white people's church, and they serve tea and coffee.
Yes, even in my church, they serve. The leaders serve.
And it was nothing serious. It was just, you coming for church, tea and coffee. You sit down, they just have some discussion. Yeah. It was just like outing. We just discuss little.
Fellowship, but that's fellowshipping. It's still fellowship.
Fellowshipping, but is that how we were taught to be doing
That's not what we were taught. We were taught that you want to make it have a position of power so that people will serve you. So I see that me and you, the Christian and the traditional worshiper who still make sacrifices, I see that we've come to a point of understanding, have we not?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so we've come to a point of understanding in a polite...
Yeah, it is. That is how we inform the next generation to make decisions.
Yes.
From a point. If everybody you can say I'm a Christian, not because they forget where they're coming from.
Yes, or they demonize where they're coming from. They still have
Ogun in their house.
I don't know if I'll keep Ogun in my own house. Yeah. Well, I'm Igbo, so Ogun and we don't have a relationship. Me and Ogun, no relationship.
So they can really... I'm not thinking that we should continually begin to reminisce on what colonialism have done to us, what these people have done to us. They make us... No, it's been a long time, though.
Yeah, we need to move forward.
By now, we can sit down and say, no, we can no longer continue. But still, people, how come the Benin Empire and the Oyo Empire have not been able to unite and form a strong bond for prosperity? That's to say something have been
gone wrong
somewhere, strongly wrong. That till now they cannot be at the table and say, no, how do we provide prosperity for our people? How do we move forward from where we were 2 years ago and say, no, the Alaafin of Oyo, the Oyo people just have new Alaafin now. Edo people it's about 7 years plus now. We have new Oba Bini. The Ooni of Ife is barely 5 years or thereabout, right? So these are young people that should be coming about and say, how do we create job?
How do we improve ourselves? How do we build our economy, build our kingdoms? Yeah.
When you look at the most products in the UK, you see the British Crown. And go to Schweppes, go to Guinness, go to a lot of things you see.
British Crown.
Yeah, Crown. That means the Crown
Even the national anthem, they're singing and
Yeah.
praising the...
They are actually sitting down to be thinking business. It's not about you rule. It's about how do we provide that people are not just seeing us as monarch, but they are seeing us as people who want them to also make living.
Yeah, to feed their families.
Until they sit down on their own to find a way to create prosperity, I think we are still going to be discussing
the same thing.
Edo people is better than Yoruba. Yoruba will say I'm beggar. Then some people will say they are Yariba. A lot of that would not have been happening if the biggest company in Edo State is owned by the crown and is employing over 20,000 people or 1 million people. If I explain what I have understand in the British way of life, you will say that I cannot go to Benin and greet anybody that says is royalty. Because why we understand that, okay, most of the agreement would have been signed within those years of banishment and exile for you to return back to the palace. But still, there's still room for you to make reasonable adjustments, right?
Yes, improve things.
What businesses, yes, when we argue these things, we can't really argue because we don't want to put our dirty linens outside. That people will say, what has the Oba really done for the people? Is a good question. Why would that question ever come up if the crown is really doing a lot?
Yes,
Can anybody ask now, what is the British crown doing? No. Because we see it everywhere.
Yes.
Most hospitals, I've said it, I've even told my Edo people that most hospitals, the building in this country are royal. It's the British crown that owns most of the building, which was rented out to the NHS. Go check it.
And the land also.
And the land. So when you own all of that in your place, what have you done with it? What have you created for the people to begin to have a sense? Because that is how we all started from. That the royal, the crown have given the people too much that they have no choice than to bow down and praise you.
Wow.
But so far, what are we saying? In all this new crown, we complain about government should do that. But individually, you see people using their own resources to better.
Yes.
But people that have a lot are not really doing a lot
with it. Thank you very much, Mr. Osawuru. You mentioned how, when people saw you when you went to Lagos and saw you were an Edo man, they said, yes, you must be honest, you must be good. But then if you look online, it says that one of the highest rate of people involved in criminal activities or online fraud are Edo people. What do you have to say about that? Statistically,
we are about 6 million. And the Edo-speaking part is about 3-point-something million, right? So how do 3-point-something million people overshadow about 60 million Yoruba-speaking people? So it's an exaggerated guess.
Okay.
So it's like when we say Benin people are more in Italy doing prostitution. My question is, we are about 3 million people, and Yoruba-speaking people about 60 million. How do 3 million overshadow 60 million people?
I get where you're coming from, but let me just read this to you from online. It says, Edo State has historically been associated with a high prevalence of human trafficking and prostitution, particularly regarding Nigerian women trafficked to Europe, with Italy being a major destination.
Okay, that's where I'm coming from. I've read that before coming, and I've seen it, and we have debated it. And my answer have always been, how do 3 million people overshadow 60 million people in a certain bad light? So that's to say, the stereotyping continue in order to bring us down. both in and out. Even within us, people are trying to balkanize the people and the tradition. Wage war against ourselves to begin to fight. You choose side, you choose side. People have done that. So the news is loud because we are the only people that have a state to our name.
So do you believe Edo people are better than other tribes in Nigeria?
Better in the sense of we are better in terms of understanding human nature.
Okay.
And we are loud about it. We are easily identified anywhere we go. I think that's what created the narrative of Edo, because you can't expect 3-point-something million begin to now drive the data of about over 60 million people.
Okay.
I've been in the UK now. How many Edo people have I met? Relatively few compared to Yoruba. In my place where I work, we have about 6, in my department alone, we have about 6 Yoruba. I'm the only Edo, 1 Igbo. So if you're going to, now let's take statistics from there. If we take statistics of people in the UK, I'm sure Yoruba will come top. Statistics of people in Italy, Yoruba will come top. So how come the people who are relatively minority begin to now drive the data? That's where now, if we are doing the right thing as a country, NATIP should be able to come up and say no, because they are silent about it, because they found one easy Ogbede telling us about how it was traffic, whereas you forget that in that camp there were a lot of tribes there. There were people from all over the country.
So thank you very much, Mr. Osawuru.
Thank you.
And I'm glad we came to some level of understanding when it came to religion.
Yeah, I'm sure others watching or listening will understand that the Benin tradition or the Edo tradition is not diabolic as they paint it to be. It's a way of life as well.
And I'm sure people watching will understand that identifying as a Christian is not limiting, as you said it was before.
No.
Yes, you agree to that, right?
No, it's not limiting. You can still be African tradition and religion while being a Christian. Most pastors are doing it.
I'll agree to disagree on that. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.
You've heard our different points of views, and I'll leave that for you to think about, and let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with what he's saying? Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you just disagree with both of us? So thank you very much for watching. And if you'd like to be on this podcast and share your story with us, just email us. You see our email below in the description. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you, and Jesus loves you.
Thank you.
I hope you agree with that one.
Yeah.